Is it possible to take the trigger shot without monitoring ovulation, or even taking the trigger shot immediately after the end of your menstrual period? And can I get pregnant by doing that? Here is the medically accurate answer. And if I don't take the trigger shot, does that mean that I can never get pregnant? This is me, Dr. Reham, ElShal, IVF and infertility treatment specialist as a medical doctor. And we are here from our clinic from Egypt, where we are practicing and we are dealing with dozens and dozens of our great family, Tabibati family, in which we have helped a lot of women and parents to achieve their dream of motherhood. And they have increased our family by a beautiful small babies. Today's video comes in response to one of our Tabibati channel followers. We will be discussing when is the best time to take your trigger shot. If you are struggling with your fertility and want to educate yourself with organized, medically accurate information, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you are talking in Arabic language, make sure to subscribe to the Tabibati channel. To understand this topic better, you first need to know that at the start of your menstrual bleeding, your follicle containing the egg starts to grow. Wait, it's not the egg itself that grows. It's not the egg which is having the size we can see by our naked eyes on the ultrasound. The egg is very microscopic structure and we can see it until we have a microscope. But what we are seeing in our naked eyes by ultrasound is the follicle, which is filled with fluid containing the egg. This egg starts or begins to become a mature egg, in which it's divided. It have multiple divisions, which is meiotic and mitotic divisions, so something we need to understand as a specialist and as an IVF specialist. But it's very simple issue to understand for you to understand that your egg is not increasing in size. It's just divided into a mature ovum. From the first day of bleeding, your follicle begin to grow, typically starting from about 6 millimeters until they reach around 18 to 22 millimeters. At this size, a hormone in the body naturally triggers this follicle to rupture and release its egg. So this hormone already exists naturally inside the body. So it's not ought to take your trigger shot in normal cases, which is meaning women whose their bodies naturally making and producing these hormones, who then needs the trigger shot to get pregnant. Only women who have either deficiency or dysfunction in the production or the function of this hormone. This is the only role of the trigger shot. And it's important to note that sometimes as doctors we prescribe the trigger shot as a precaution, especially in cases we are prescribing hair and ovulation induction and there is multiple follicles, and in which cases we have more than one follicle or 2 or 3 follicles. In this case we recommend her to take her trigger shot in certain cases, because we can't wait until we know if she have enough of this hormone or this hormone is functioning normally in her body or not. There is no space for trying, for experiencing that with this woman in certain cases. That's not happening in all cases. We are not recommending that in every case. You are not ought to do that if you are a normal case, if you are not undergoing ovulation induction, if you are not undergoing any of these procedures. Please make your body a space for all of these experiments. Just do what your body in need for. Now let us talking about the timing. When the follicle reaching around 2 centimeters, which is around 20 millimeters in diameter, we are expecting that this follicle will rupture within mostly 2 days. This follicle reaches the size around the day 14 of the cycle. So we expect ovulation 2 days before or 2 days after this time of the mid of the cycle in regular menstrual bleeding women. Remember, you count the first day of your bleeding as the first day of your cycle. Understand that. Please remember that. It's not the last day or it is not the end of your bleeding. And here is the answer of the first question. You cannot take the trigger shot immediately after the end of your menstrual bleeding in regular bleeding cases and cases who have and women who have a very normal cycle with average duration. Now for the most critical part. Unfortunately, some doctors prescribe the trigger shot without monitoring the ovulation of the cases. They just define if she have regular cycle or not, and they calculate it and measured it by guesses and recommend the trigger shot in a certain day without ultrasound monitoring, without seeing the follicle by their eyes and measuring its diameter and determine if it's possible or it's suitable for this follicle to rupture at this state or at this time or not. For example, some of my cases came to me and she told me that she have what we called monitoring of ovulation, but it's just by ovulation kits and measuring her signs for ovulation. We have talked in another lesson about how to understand ovulation signs and all of these things. But she didn't do ultrasound and she asked her doctor to prescribe her a trigger shot, and he guessed with her that the ovulation would occur around the day 14, and he recommended her to take her trigger at the day 14 without any ultrasound confirmations. This practice can lead to 3 problems. It's a serious problem because it can lead to one of 3 potential scenarios. The lucky scenario, in which the lucky case, in which in this case, the woman have a follicle which have reached the size of the lucky cases. The follicle is actually the right size and everything goes well. The second scenario is the early case. The follicle is still too small to be able to rupture and give us the egg. So in this case, it's very dangerous to give the trigger shot at this small size because the follicle will never rupture and even it may grow into what we call the functional cyst. And in this case, it costs us time and effort and money for if we have take drugs or treatment for that. And what we are need to understand is this is not the lucky scenario. The late case, that in this case, the follicle has already grown to a large size and there is no hormone inside the body, even it's not enough or it's not functioning well, and the follicle grow into a cyst, which we are calling functional cyst. In this case, even giving the trigger shot in this time will not help because the timing was missed. We hope this explanation was clear and we save you unnecessary clinic visits, and most importantly helps you to choose a clinic that can monitor your ovulation correctly. Monitoring depending only medication schedule will not help us, and without any ultrasound, especially transvaginal ultrasound monitoring, will not help you in determining your ovulation, and it's just wasting of time. If you are struggling with infertility issues and you are living outside Cairo or even outside Egypt, from any place around this great world, we are here by online consultation, and we have added more slots for online consultations in which you can consult directly with me one-to-one, and we can discuss all of your fertility plans and how to guide you in your motherhood journey, as we are actually doing with many and many of our great members of our Tabibati family who are visiting us in the clinic or even from around the world by via online consultation. If you made it to the end of the video, we would love you to share in the comments, was this explanation helpful? And if you have ever monitored your ovulation this way before. Keep happy and see you in the next video.